Hi guys, my name is Beth. I am a knitter from the suburbs of Chicago, and I am here today to talk to you about my knitting that I have done recently, as well as I have come up with a topic that I'd like to discuss a little further, and I'll put that at the end. And the topic today will be lost and found. So stick with me till the end of the video if you want to hear more about what's going on with that in my world. But my big thing that I'm working on right now is my march to the finish. So we are working as a group, those of you following me, with a small knit along of whips that have been sitting around for a while, and you have decided to finally finish them. So on Instagram, if you want to participate, all you need to do is post a picture of something that you're working on that has been just sitting around for a while and use the hashtag #MarchToTheFinish. I will be giving a prize at the end of this to someone, some random winner. So if you use that hashtag on Instagram, I will draw a random name from that, and that person will get the prize. Now, last time I had talked about this, I had not decided what that prize would be. So here's my thinking. I am planning to go to the Frivolous and Frugal Ply Podcast meetup here in the Chicago area this summer. So there is a design whose proceeds go toward this event, and it is the Row by Row Sampler Cowl by Irene Designs. Picture up here. And what I was thinking is I will gift this to you as well as a skein of DK yarn so that you can make this project. So I found something in stash that I have, and I thought, this is perfect. Where'd it go? I had it right here on my table. Oh, it's right in front of me. I am looking out the window and it's very bright out there. So when I refocus on things in the room, it seems very dark, but it's not because I have all this daylight pouring in. So anyway, here is this lovely skein of yarn. It is a beautiful cranberry red. I was thinking initially that I was going to use this for a project for Christmas, and I don't even remember what I was thinking. I'm guessing I had a specific project in mind. Either that, or I just thought, that's a nice Christmassy red that would actually look good on me. I don't think, there are some reds that, because I'm a natural redhead, which you probably can't even, everybody says I'm blonde. I still see the redhead on me. But as a natural redhead, red generally does not look good on me. But the cranberry reds and maroons usually are better colors for me. So anyway, I don't see myself using this for anything. I don't have a plan for it. So I thought this would be perfect for the Row by Row Sampler Cowl. So this will go to the person who gets randomly drawn for my prize in my hashtag #MarchToTheFinish. So get your posts up on Instagram. I will be drawing for this prize on April 1st when all of the hashtag #MarchToTheFinishes have been completed, or even if it ends up in a whip stage, I'm not going to play hard and fast with the rules. You can post whatever you want to march to the finish. Even if you don't get around to it, just acknowledge that you've got a languishing whip that you want to work on. That's fine too. So, march to the finish, lovely shade of red, and beautiful cowl to make. with a great event to support. So that's the plan for March to the Finish. My other knit along that's still going on, it is a year-long knit along, and this is being hosted by multiple podcasts, which I highly recommend that you view. So my first drawing will also be April 1st for that. And I am giving away these 2 balls of Rowan Kid Silk Haze, and the colorway of these is drab. It is a mohair silk blend. It will be beautiful on something. I would love to see somebody use this and find a great purpose for it and make it into something beautiful. And with that one, the hashtag on Instagram is PK Burra KAL 2023. I don't know why I made that one so complicated, because I don't see myself doing the Burra KAL more than this year. But I did that, and now it's a learning curve, guys. Anyhow, long introduction. It's time to move on to finished objects. So I have a finished object from my March to the Finish, and I'm so excited about it. I don't know if I posted these on Instagram. I'll have to do that. This is Limeno by Media Peruana, Kristen Jancook, and it is a cabled sock. So the back is cabled and the front of the leg is textured. And I did do a few modifications to the pattern just to fit my body better, because I do have a wider calf. So I started with a second size for the calf. And then once I got to the heel, that's where I sort of sized down. Because I am a fairly regular sock knitter, I know that I like a 56 round foot. So I was a little bit unsure that this was going to work for me because of the texture. But it did. It worked out very well for me. The only thing that I can say, you see this little bump here? That was sort of a mishap, I guess you could say. Because what I did is with the heel flap, that's where I reduced stitches, and maybe that's not where I should have done it. Maybe I should have done it more in the gusset, but it kind of made it pop out. So when I pull the sock on, my toes kind of get stuck in the heel, and then I have to pull that off my toes to slide my foot the rest of the way in. But that's fine. It fits well when it's on. It doesn't bother me that that little thing is there. You can't even see it when the sock is on my foot. Then the other thing that I did, in the picture on the pattern, you can kind of see that I can't see this now. Where the cable is, it comes down and this part. So I can't see that on the camera at all, but this part looks like it's kind of a bump at the end in the picture on the pattern, which I thought that looks like it'll be uncomfortable inside my shoe. So I didn't want to do that. But I have no evidence for that. I did not look at, anything on Ravelry where people were saying that it was a problem or anything like that. It was just my own thought is, wow, that looks uncomfortable, but I'll just stop the cable a little bit sooner. So as far as I recall, those are the only modifications I made. I did the toe exactly as they said, and it fits very nicely. Because of this heel modification that I did, I think the bottom of the foot went out further than the top of my foot as I was going. And so that kind of made things a little bit different as far as when you get to the toe. So that might have been, I don't know, that might have been something that made the toe work as well as it did for me. And maybe had I continued following the pattern, the same thing would have happened. I don't know. But I love it. I love these. I can't wait to wear them for real. I've only tried them on. I haven't worn them to school or on the weekends or anything else. And I feel like these are an everyday pair of socks because everybody needs a little sparkle in their life. So that's my only finished object this week. This is my first hashtag real live march to the finish. And now I said hashtag real live, which made no sense. My real live hashtag march to the finish. Next up, this is not finished. What I am wearing is the Nomad Tea by Rachel Illsley of Unwind Knitwear. And this is something that I had started last summer. And I was loving knitting this until I got to the color work. And then since I have very little experience in color work, and of course modified the pattern to use 3 colors instead of 2, I think my color work is very tight. And so you'll see in the spin that I did that the center is pulled up more than the sides are. I did post this on Instagram, and you can really see in the pictures that I posted on Instagram. But I finished up whichever side it was that wasn't finished. It is a side-to-side knit piece. And I picked up the stitches on the bottom, which is something that I had done after I posted on Instagram. So that was not shown on Instagram. So you can see it in my spin. I've probably already shown that by now. So I started the ribbing on the bottom hem. And my idea now, because I have seen the pictures of this, and might have been a good idea to look in Ravelry and see who else did this project and how they did things. But I never think of that before I do things. I just go off and do my own thing. So my idea here is that in the center, this lavender color that's sort of like the background all over color, that part I am going to do in stockinette stitch. So I'm going to stand up so I can show that part. So you can see, let me pull this up. So it is a twisted rib in here on the green part. So in the pattern, she says to do all the way around in that green. But I have decided that in the center pieces on both the front and the back, I am going to do stockinette stitch, and then I'm going to do duplicate stitch over the top to try to duplicate the color work that goes throughout the body of this. So we'll see how that turns out. If I don't like it, I rip it out and start over again. Now, the complication with this is that I have to do this in Tarsha style. I can't just go around and around, or maybe somebody out there knows things that I don't, because, well, that's true of a lot of things. But in order to go around in the different colors, I have to go back and forth. And so I'm sort of twisting stitches together as I come around, if that makes any sense. So I'm doing blocks of color and doing back and forth rather than round and round. So I'll let you know how it goes. So far, it's been good. One of the things I was thinking of is that having this stockinette part in the center as opposed to ribbing might relax it down more and make it a little bit longer. And I'm thinking that at the end of that part, I may do a, what do they call that? I-cord. I'm going to do an I-cord edge on that part. And then, you know, the rest of it will be just the regular twisted rib cast off. But on the front and the back, I'll do that I-cord edge, and hopefully that brings everything down even so that I don't have longer sides than the centers. We'll see. It's all an experiment. I am altering this because I made some mistakes early on. So who knows? This may fix my mistakes. This may make things worse, but I'm willing to take that chance because this is why I do what I do. I love to play with yarn and stitches and all this different stuff. So why not? Why not experiment? And because another thing is, I might want to rip the entire thing out if I don't just fix what I have. So, and that was that's why this went into hibernation to begin with, is I knew that this color work was not coming out the way I wanted it to. So I was really strongly considering ripping this thing out, but I love the colors of it so much. And I loved like how the first half of it was fitting me. So I was like, oh, I hate to do this. I don't want to, but I'm glad I did put it aside so that the emotion of, you know, I messed this up. I don't like it. You know, all of that could just sit by the side while I thought about, okay, what can I do to make it better? Rather than just pulling it out. And so I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the fact that I decided to continue with it, as well as what I'm doing to try to fix it. So far, so good. My story next time may change. So the other hashtag March to the Finish item that I had planned for March, I think is maybe going to take a back seat again, because I don't see myself having time to knit an entire sweater. I've got 2 weeks left of March, and my son's sweater that I promised to him probably 2 years ago is maybe going to take a back seat again. But that doesn't mean it's not going to get done. And the one I'm talking about was an Arna and Carlos sweater, red Barna unisex sweater. So I'm not going to be showing that this week. I have nothing to report about it, but I do have other whips that I have been, you know, sometimes when when you're kind of in that place of, I don't want to think about the hard stuff, you work on the easier stuff. So okay, I'm going to talk about, here, these socks. All right. These are, it is Get Shorty DK socks. And this is another design by Irene Designs. And this pattern is exclusively available at Elgin Knitworks with the purchase of DK sock yarn. So this is what I've got so far. And the only reason I'm showing it this week is because I'm so loving how these stripes are coming out. I mean, as I go along, I'm seeing these stripes turn up and I just think they're so cool. But now I know people like matchy stuff. This is not that. I started at each end of the skein of yarn, and this is what I'm getting. And you can see like there's this pink, then purple, then blue, then yellow. And here it's purple, then pink, then yellow, then blue. So obviously it's opposite striping, but I'm fine with that. I'm not going to be looking at my feet that much to compare what the legs look like. So that's fine with me. So this yarn is Katya Tampier sock. Showing the label. Ta-da! It's this. And I don't know the colorway, but if I find it, I'll put it below. So that's all I have to share about that. They fit, they're great. I love them. Love the pattern. I am doing them long as opposed to short. I did talk to Irene about that. And she said I could probably do a regular leg, sock in the DK weight, that would, you know, with the amount of yarn that I have that came in that sock set, I should have plenty of room to go as long as I want to with that sock. So my next whip, and this is my last whip, is, I know I've shown this before, and I don't have a whole lot more done on this either, but this is the Seaside set from PJKnits. And it is for a baby in my family. And it is a sweater with stripes, and the sweater buttons in front. And I don't know how much of this I showed before, but okay, so let's see. I gotta kind of try to hold this the right way. So this is the front of the sweater. So it will button up the side. So it kind of like along the raglan line. So it's a striped sweater, and I just started my first stripe. So I am loving the way this thing knits up. And I had just finished knitting up the side of this, and I was at a point of, okay, I've done enough stuff that I really need to think about. So let's go back to something that I can just easily follow directions and not have to think about picking up stitches and all that other stuff. So working on that, it's moving along smoothly. Details on the yarn are below, and that's it for whips. So on to my discussion topic. I almost forgot to talk about new to me items. Okay, very quickly. I bought, you know how I'm in that purple and green kick? I am so excited. I found this on sale from Expression Fiber Arts. I'm on their email list and I just love these colors. Okay, so when I opened the package, at first I thought they made a mistake and sent me two of the same color. But you can see that these are two different colors, just very subtly different. Now, this is Expression Fiber Arts Amal Fingering Weight yarn. The colorways are Laughter, Accomplish, and something else. I'll put it on the screen. I don't remember which is which because none of that indicates purple or green. So I don't know how they come up with these colorway names, but I thought this would make a pretty shawl. She has a free mosaic shawl pattern. And I'll put that up here. And that's what I want to make with this. And I love the color work on this shawl. And I just thought these colors would be such a beautiful combo. And the biggest thing, okay, today is Sunday, March 19th. Her sale on this yarn, I just saw an email from her this morning. It goes for 3 days, she said. 3 more days, I think is what she said. So I think that would be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So if you're watching this before then, snag some of this. It's got the great soft squish factor to it. It is Amal Fingering, A-M-A-L. And it is 60% baby alpaca, 20% linen, and 20% mulberry silk. And it is on sale for, I believe it was $21 a skein that I got it for. It is 100 gram skein, and it is 438 yards. So a regular fingering weight yarn. And there's a coupon code that came in her email for 25% off. So get on her email list. Great bargain. I would not have bought this if it weren't such a bargain. But yeah, I got 3 skeins of yarn for less than $60 and I was like, whoo, yes. So go buy this yarn. So I'm borrowing an idea from some other podcasters that I've watched where they talk about what people are saying in the comments on their previous video. So this now is fair warning that if you comment on my video, I may talk about your comment in the next video. So I just thought it would be a good idea to let people know, in case you don't want to be mentioned for whatever reason, that I very likely could talk about what you're saying in the comments below my video. Just a heads up. So my topic is lost and found, which, it's funny, when I first thought of this topic, it came up because it is knitting related for me. So I found this on my end table the other day. It is a needle that has a silver cord, and I believe these are interchangeable. Yeah, this is interchangeable needles. It is a Chowgu interchangeable needle. And I know that I never bought any silver cables, and they're like twisty. I don't know if you can see that it's twisting on here. So I was like, wow, these are awesome. But it's not mine. So Colleen, Selfish Knitter, I think this might be yours. I am so sorry. This, I found it. And I think what happened is at the retreat I was at in January, I borrowed it for a class that we were doing. And I must have pulled it out of that project and thrown it on my end table when I got home and completely forgotten, or just didn't. I think at the time I didn't even realize that it wasn't my needles, because I think at the time I just kind of went yoink and just dropped it and gave it no further thought. So comment below if anything like this has ever happened to you, because I have always been of a mind that you know what's yours and what's not. And it made me think about when I was in high school. My mother got so mad at me because I went to, I might have even been in college. I don't remember now. But I was at home at the time, and I believe it was for winter break, because I think it was a New Year's party. And I brought a crystal platter with, I don't know if I brought cookies or some sort of appetizer or what it was, but I brought something to a friend's house for a holiday party. And that platter never made it home. Now, at the time, if I was in college, being in college would make more sense to me, because I probably went back to school and never had the chance to get it back. And then the following summer is probably when I talked to my friend about getting it back. And I went to, it was my friend's mom's house. She lived with her grandparents most of the time, but her mom was the one whose house we were at for the event. And so we went to her mom's house and started going through the kitchen, and she was asking me, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? And her mom was helping me too. Is it this? Is it this? And I'm thinking, you don't know what's yours in your own kitchen? I don't understand that. Like, don't you know I bought this? It's mine. I don't get that. And maybe that's just me. And I'm not judging. I was just surprised. You know, it's more that, like, everybody lives differently. Everybody does different things. I don't know. It was surprising to me that you wouldn't know in your own kitchen what's yours and what's not. And I will say, giving my friend the benefit of the doubt, she didn't live with her mom. She lived with her grandparents, and she was also in school. So, I mean, not knowing what is her mom's kind of makes sense to me, especially when we're talking about things that only come out on special occasions. So, I ended up going to Crate and Barrel and buying a different crystal platter to replace that, because my mom was really upset about this. And she has always told me that she loves the crystal platter that I bought for her, but she no longer had, here's another piece of this puzzle, she no longer had a matching set. There were 2 platters that matched. And I mean, this was a good sized platter. You know, it was gorgeous. And, you know, I don't know if it was any like Limoges or any fancy thing, but it was a nice, heavy crystal platter. And the replacement cost me a pretty penny as a college student. But anyway, comment below. Has anything like that ever happened to you? And you know, I often think about, like, I have something in my house right now from a friend that I have always known this is not mine. And I come across it every so often and I think, oh yeah, next time I see her, I've got to bring that. And it's a friend that I don't see as regularly as I would like to. So, and then of course, I feel like there's been at least one time that I've seen this friend and haven't returned the item to her because I'm just thinking about, yay, I get to see my friend, and not thinking, oh yeah, I got to return that thing to her. I don't know how much she misses it, but whatever. So, topic of the week, lost and found. If you lost something and don't know where it is and don't know who to ask, have you found something and you know who it belongs to, but you haven't gotten it back there? Or have you even found something and thought, who does this belong to? I know it's not mine. Or even thought, is this mine? Did I buy this? I don't remember buying this. Could be any number of things. So, comment below. We'll have further discussion of this on my next episode when we talk about the comments. So, until next time, keep knitting, keep marching to the finish with me, and I hope you are enjoying all of the process of your knitting as much as I am. Keep surviving, keep thriving, and I'll see you next time. Bye.